excited to talk to you because we haven't unpacked this. It will be our actual first conversation about the swim
Yeah,
since that conversation in the car on the way to the wedding. So
that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I'm really excited to hear what has been happening. Oh, there we go. That one. All right.
yeah,
Okay.
3 weeks.
Got it. There we go. Admit. Great. So people are going to start coming in. I don't know how many people we're expecting. Maybe it's just you and me.
Oh, okay.
That's also good. That is also good. Hi, Christine. How are you doing?
Okay,
Nice to see you.
good to see you as well.
Here we go. I've been sick, hey. Wow.
What's wrong?
I don't know. I think I've got a virus or something.
Oh,
And
gosh.
I've been struggling with these headaches and body aches for the past week or so. And Sunday night, my body just decided this is enough now.
Oh no.
And I have been sleeping the whole of yesterday. And after this, I'm just going to sleep again till my body says, okay, now you can get up. I'm like,
Sure.
That's always the best. That's
yeah,
always the
I don't
best.
know what is happening.
But you know, you've
So,
been busy the whole time.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit tired. I think that's it. I think I'm tired and it's been a huge move and I've been, yeah, my body is
Lots going on.
might just be like, just stop a little bit.
Yeah.
Just stop a little bit.
Oh, just pray healing over you, man. Gee.
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. I just want
So
to see if anybody else is coming in.
might be. They might remember. um,
Okay, there's some people on Facebook. Hello, everybody on Facebook. Hi. All right. Well, let's just start. I will let the people in as they come in.
yeah.
So, Louise, it's so nice to see you again.
Yes.
You've been on and off of our coffee conversations a little bit here and a little bit there, so some people might recognize your face. But we met, you would probably remember exactly how long ago, but it's about 3 years ago when Andy and Anya got married.
Is it 3 years now, or is it two?
It's two and a
I think it
half,
was.
almost three.
It was. I know it was April, March, April. It
Yeah.
was definitely that. That was the timeline, and I think it was the March, April after Alvain had done his
Yeah.
one because you were. It was fresh in your mind. So
Yeah.
that would be. Yeah, it's like with the COVID timeline in between, it like messes up the.
Yeah. Anyway, but that was after. Oh my goodness, was it after COVID? Well, oh, I don't know. Anyway, but about 3 years ago, I didn't have a vehicle, and Anya and Andy are friends of both of us, and I was like, I need a lift, and Anya, the bride, said, but Louise would be driving, and so me and Louise were driving for 2 hours from Cape Town to Hermanus something, and since then we've just stayed connected, and
Yeah.
I think I'm going to leave the rest to Louise because something in that conversation kind of shifted for her in terms of the whole swim from Robben Island to Big Bay. And yeah, but Louise, I think first let's start just with a little bit about who are you? Why was this? Give me a little bit of background about who you are, just and why did you think, so kind of background on why you wanted to do the swim.
Okay, well, the short summary is I grew up in Cape Town. I always loved the sea, grew up going to Fishhook Beach, but I would never venture beyond jumping the waves at the beach. But I grew up with a swimming pool. But I learned to swim before I think I remember learning to swim before I could ride my bicycle. So I would go down the road. Literally, the swim teacher was down the road, like 2 blocks. And she told me, I just distinctly, it stuck in my mind about like my warm up as a 6-7-year-old was like do 20 lengths of the residential swimming pool. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
So you always loved swimming.
Yeah. The water's always been my friend. And I'd spend hours growing up in the pool. That would be my thing. Being in the pool. And then, okay, a hectic lockdown happened 2020. Then, so I was just trying to get an even keel back in 2020. Then 21, some stuff happened, like, yeah. And then our conversation happened in the car because I was like, I have a car. I'm not going to I'm going to help people if I can. And then, yeah, and you said, no, my friend from like in Plumstead or wherever you were still living at the time, which was like far away from me. So I was like, yeah, we can make a plan. Just give me a number. We can make a plan. And so I was thinking like, okay, cool. Met you at Rondebosch Park and we proceeded to go to Manus. And in that conversation, you said, no, a friend of yours just did it in December. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just thinking about it. And it's like, no, it's not really set yet. And you're like, well, if he can do it, anyone could do it. At that time, I just didn't know it. You failed to mention in that conversation, I think, that he was the paraplegic, actually. I don't think you mentioned that part. I distinctly remember you're not mentioning that, actually. So, and then goes to June, and I was like, you know what? I started to talk about the swim with people around me, and I have this thing that if I talk to 10 people more than once about the subject or something, I kind of wrote myself in that I have to do it now. So June progressed to like the wake-up call that I'd actually spoken about it a lot. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do Robben Island, but in like, just like by the by, sort of thing, in a by the by conversation. Like, yeah, I'm going to do Robben Island. So, well, how was your day? That kind of thing. Then I realized, like, when that hit home, I was like, okay, wait, what do I need? What tools do I need to do this one? So that was the thought process after that. And I was like, well, obviously I need to be able to get to the pool. That's like obvious, the beach, the pool. And then I was like, a coach. I need a coach. And I need to have a coach of someone who's done it before. I cannot have a coach that hasn't done Robben Island because that just is nonsensical. It's like, let's go to the baker that only bakes bread but doesn't know how to make cakes and learn how to make cakes from him. They'll be like, no, what do you mean? It's like, it's just a bit crazy.
Okay, I just quickly want to step back a little bit for anybody who's listening that might be listening at some point. Robben Island is the island that Nelson Mandela was prisoner on, just off the coast of Cape Town. And depending from which side on the coast you're on, it's about 12 kilometers, which is about 6 miles. Or to Big Bay, it's about 8 kilometers, which is about 4 miles estimate.
Yeah, 7.5, 8, depending on currents.
Yeah. So that's the island just off the coast of Cape Town, and that's where you swam from. So you went out on a boat to the island, and then from the island swam back to Big Bay. Just to have a little bit of an idea.
No, just from the island to Blouberg. So we go on the boat from the waterfront to the island, and then you swim from the island to Blouberg.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Sorry, I interrupted you. Just to get some what are we talking about? Yes.
Yeah, some context. I might need to run and get some keys in a moment just now, because I forgot to bring them with me while I'm having the interview with you, and it like literally will take 2 seconds. But so I'll just let you know when I need to do that, but it will be quick. It will be very quick. So so then I realized like I've roped myself into this. But then what also happened is I realized that Father God was actually telling me to do this because I needed a task and something to do that would kind of reverse the impact of the trauma of COVID, of being isolated, of that kind of thing, because I needed an excuse to get out the house. I needed an excuse to exercise, to get fit. I needed something that would help me get routine back, that would help sort of be the slipstream where other things would fall behind. So that was a part of it as well. And then I realized, like, okay, well, and then I looked at on the website of the Cape Long Distance Swimming Association about their things. I looked for coaches. I looked up and down, far and wide, and no one felt right. Like I looked through, I thought I must have looked through the same list like 10 times, and I was like, okay, Father, like. Ooh. So I contacted Derek Fraser. He's the one that owns Big Bay Events. That is the one that he owns the boats that take all the swimmers across. So, and other swims around the Cape Peninsula, and there are quite a few others. And so I contacted him and I said, do you know of a coach? Do you know of a coach? And then he recommended someone, and I was like, yeah, no, that's. And then I was like, okay, do you know a coach? And then he said, oh no, why don't you try Michelle Weber? And I was like, okay, I don't know who that is, but like, let's see. And I was like, okay. So it turns out she's like the 2-time Olympian for the marathon swim. And in the Olympics, the marathon swim is a 10-kilometer open water swim in a wetsuit, usually, or most of the open water swims, depending on the country and everything. So I was like, oh, okay, well then, and she's done about 4 or 5 Robben Island swims. So it was like, okay, well, she knows something. She's done the Olympics. So then we met the first day, and I think it was September, October, at Sea Point Pool, and I was a bit like nervous and awkward. And she met at the 50-meter pool, and I was like, yeah, no, we're not 50 meter. No, don't give me a 50-meter. And then that first swim, I swam in the 25, 26-meter pool. That's like the play pool at Sea Point, and I did 200 meters in an hour, and I was like so tired. I was like finished. I was like, okay, this is gonna be something. And then going into, so that was 21. So that's 21 March, April. That's when I met you. So like 21, like the end of the year, I was like, okay. So beginning of 22, then the first session with her, I said, okay, let's try the 50-meter. I was ready. I coached my whole of December. I coached my brain to like get ready for 50-meter pool. So I was like, okay, you could do the 50, you could do the 50, like the whole month, because I knew that I had to get to that, because how would I going to get to like 8 kilometers or 7 Ks? So that's what I did. And then what I progressed to was eventually doing 1.6, which is a mile in an hour. And then flu hit me. The obstacles that I had to overcome in getting to the swim were the fact that many times I couldn't get to the pool. So I missed a whole 1 week of training just because I didn't have money to get to the pool. Sometimes I had to choose between eating or swimming, because it was either, do I eat this week or do I go and put petrol in the car to go and swim? So it was a toss-up of that, because my salary was still recovering from COVID. So you have to just choose one or the other. And then, so many times, my coach would be like, yeah, but you haven't done your sets. It's like, I haven't done my sets because I had to choose between food or transport. So I missed a few. And then the beginning of this year, it was insanely crazy. Like in COVID, I got no flu ever at all. The whole 2 years, no flu. The first few months of this year, I got flu like 3 times, and also like the time of the month for us ladies, like that also prevented me from swimming. So I missed a week of training for that. Then I had flu and I recovered from flu. And then I was like, yeah, I could swim. And then like the period started and I was like, no, you can't. So then it's like missed out another 5 days. Then I was like, yay, back in the pool. So I got to swim and everything. I had the money was matching up. And then I was like, okay, cool. And then about a week or so after that, then it was like, okay, now we have flu again. And I was like, no. Like 6 weeks before I was going to do the swim, I had flu. And I was like my anxiety was like reaching breaking point because I was like, I have to get in the pool. But one of the epic swims that I did in this year was swimming in 12-degree water at Oakdale Pool without a wetsuit in the rain, getting my fastest 100-meter, I think it was. I think I swam a 1 minute 44, if the watch was right, in the 25-meter pool, like as it's getting dark in the rain. That was like my fastest 100-meter. And the other thing is on this journey, I only did 5 open water swims. I did 3 races. I swam at Clifton with my coach one time, Clifton Fourth Beach. And I think that swim was the swim that I overcame that fear of dark water because she said, okay, now put in like 2 strokes. And I put in 2 strokes because I didn't want to put my head in the water. I couldn't see anything. And then there was like 4 and then 6 and then 8. And then I got the hang of it. And I didn't stay in too long. I think I probably only swam like 200 or 300 meters in that water. And then I did a Camps Bay morning swim. The water was also like some crazy temperature, like 12 degrees. I swam 17 minutes in 12 degrees. And then what happened was it's so funny because she said, no, you're going to be shaking when you get out. Like we're supposed to shake when we're cold. So I said, no, I won't. I'll probably not to work like that. Literally everyone around me was shaking like a leaf and I was just sitting there like, oh, okay. And I started to shake a little bit from the cold, like probably like 20 minutes later only, when we were actually having a hot chocolate. So that was the 2 swims. And then I had 3 races. One from Oceana, 800-meter. I was like the slowest person. That was my very first open water. Now that's not even open. That's not even getting into it's not even going out of the harbor. And then I really wanted to do, so October last year, I really wanted to do the harbor to harbor. So now this is the crazy thing. This is a like, don't try this at home kind of thing, because when I did harbor to harbor, I had flu, I had no breakfast, and I swam a 3 kilometer in the 14-degree water, and I got hypothermia for the first time after that. And I didn't know until 2 weeks later when I did the canal swim, when they actually told me, oh, last time you got hypothermia. And I was like, oh, is that what it was? Okay, thanks. And then I swam the mile in the canal. I was also last there, but they gave me a consolation prize, I think, for effort, because I just kept going anyway, even though I was last, even though I just swam. I must say the harbor to harbor was smelling of all the oil. The most pleasant ones, I think, probably was like, okay, Camps Bay and Clifton were both scary for me because I think that those were the key points in overcoming that fear. Yeah.
So tell me quickly, you speak about facing the fears, and there's a few that you kind of spoke about. I think the dark water was the one that you were speaking about. What were the biggest, just mention 2 or 3 of the biggest fears that you really had to deal with? Like, okay, these were really crazy. I didn't know how I'm going to do this. That kind of pushed you to the point where you said, I'm not going to do this. Were there any of those? Or were your drive big enough to continue to push past the fears anyway?
Oh, you mean connected to the swim? Oh, yeah, no, there was a few. I was like on the Thursday before the swim, usually, you have a nervous moment. Okay, you have a nervous moment. You're like nervous, your body, your nerves, you feel it in your body for like 10 minutes and then it's over. No, on that Thursday before, I think for 8 hours, my body was shaking and full of fear. the whole day my body was shaking, and I was like, oh my word, am I going to be able to do this? No, I haven't done enough training. It just does not seem possible. Like, I love the water. Like, I got given, friends helped me to pay to book the swim. Like, friends helped me to become a member of the Oakdale Club. It took like 6 months, but like, to get to a pool, the whole journey's been a push. So the fear was like, okay, like, am I even going to get to the swim? Because at this point on Thursday morning, I did not have a lift to Oceana Club. I didn't know, like, okay, so let me put it in context. About 10 years ago, I wanted to control everything all day, every day, and have control of my environment and my day and everything that was happening. And God has taken me on a journey where I am at a point of surrendering everything. So 10 years ago to now, so the nerves were about the actual swim on the Thursday. But Friday was like, I was in such peace about, like, I said, like, okay, but Father said, like, I don't have to call someone to lift me, because actually someone's going to call. And I'm going to know who the captain is. All I know is that what I need to buy for my snacks and the drinks and whatever, because I had a coaching call with Ryan Stramwood, like, about just on the Monday or the Tuesday. I had a call with my coach as well that time. So she was also like, just to prepare for the swim, and then, asking advice from other people. So it was doing that, like, like Sunday, Monday. But then Thursday, the nerves hit, and like, I was actually in a lot of freedom on Friday, even though I had no idea who the captain was, how I was going to get there. Even the photography team, they said that, like, the guy that was going to steer the jet ski, he had broken his foot. And then on the day of the swim, the photographer said, oh no, the battery place for the jet ski only opens at 8:30. And the jet ski is helping for the photography, and like, that's the morning of the swim. So was I afraid of stuff? Yes. Oh my word. I was like on the brink. I was like, oh my word. My heart was in my throat the whole day. I was like, I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to do this. And I'm like, the weather is stormy. So just to put it in context as well of what kind of a miracle thing this is, Cape Town winter is rain most of the time. And we have the occasional storm. The only thing is the beginning of June. So I booked the weekend of the 10th and the 11th. My birthday's on the 12th. Up until the Thursday, the weather in Cape Town was storms, like flooding. There was flooding in Stellenbosch. There was like floods and storm. Like, the weather was like,
no swimming no swimming happening this weekend.
like nothing. But then on the day of the swim, like, there was not even chop on the water.
Oh, wow.
It was like glass. It was like so flat. It was like swimming in your swimming pool.
Wow.
Like, chop is usually the little waves that are on the surface and the current is underneath. It was nothing. And I mean, Blouberg is known for the wind. It's known as Blouberg because of the blue mountain. You can see Table Mountain from it. That's where the name comes from. But the wind also blows like a crazy thing there. That's where all the kite surfers go, because the wind is that strong. There was no wind.
So tell me, was there at any point in this journey, since we met in the carts or you got in the water, that you were like, nah, I'm not going to do this. No, I'm done.
No, I think maybe it was fleeting, but not, I can't remember it. It was more like, I'm going to do this. I have to do this. I booked my date. I'm going to do this. I don't care. I'm going to do this.
How did you decide on the date?
Around my birthday is always a sort of a date. So early on, I really chose that. And in fact, I asked my coach, I said, yeah, but will Derek allow it? They don't like people to like do swims in June because of the weather, and it might not happen and all the rest of it. And I was like, well, let me just book the swim anyway. And just like, and then I did, and yeah, it all fell together. And I mean, literally the next day, like Sunday, there was a storm, and there was a storm for about a week after that. The next Robben Island swim that they did was like a week later. And there were 4 other people. So there was 3 other people. There was another girl that was doing it. She was doing a wetsuit with her boat, and then they were doing Dawson Island 2 swims. All of those swimmers finished before me. They were between 3 and 3.5 hours in the water. And I think there was one with the Dawson Island. I think there was one wetsuit, one skins, and then with Robben Island, it was the other girl. She was in a wetsuit, and I think she got vertigo. I think she almost got sick in the water from motion sickness. But and then it was me.
All right, so let's talk about the temperature of the water quickly, because you talked about the low temperatures quite a few times, and yet you swam skin. You didn't have a wetsuit. Was that a decision you made early on? Why did you decide to not do a wetsuit? Was it a money decision? Was it hey, how did you get to that decision?
It was a very easy decision. The only way you do a Robben Island is the skins, because that's the original way that they've always done it. So that's how we do it. Okay. And I don't own a wetsuit anyway. So like if you know me well, it's go big or go home. It's like, do it properly or don't do it at all. Like,
all right, and you did it in 5 hours and something. How long did it take you to do it?
5 hours and 41 minutes. Yeah, 5 hours and 41 minutes.
And now that you're done with it, where are Louise now? What has changed in you? Because it's a year and a half now down the line. How have you changed since that day that we got in the car?
So it's about 2 years, but March. Yeah, about 2.5 even. You know, how have I changed? I think I've got I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint at this moment. It's been 3 weeks. It's like I can do this. I can do it. And despite the odds that seemed to be stacked against me from certain viewpoints of people, that actually there were some of my friends who said, like, who doubted me in the beginning because they don't know me that well. Is like when I set my mind to a goal, it's like we do the goal. Once it's set, it's set. There's no going back. There's no, that's it. So yeah, it's like I still have a interesting relationship with the water, because I enjoy the water, but when you have to do sets in the water and when you have to do training of like, okay, I've done 3 kilometers in the pool today, that's a whole different ball game of like just like swimming, like breaststroke and doing nothing. You know, it's just like from playing a game or whatever. It's a whole different. It switches over your brain differently with that, because when I used to, as I was training, when I would say to people, I was like, oh yeah, no, I got a 2K to do today, and in their mind I could see it ticking over, and many times they would voice it, and they would say, well, I can't even do the 50 meter. And it's like, well, that's where I started. I didn't even start in the 50 meter pool. I actually started sort of in 2020, when it was during COVID. I wanted to get to a pool, and I swam at the guest house up the road, trying to do 20 lengths in the residential pool just to get water, so I was like 20 lengths in a residential pool fit. So that's where I actually began, like just from swimming in the residential pool, because I needed water contact during COVID in 2020 when I could get there, have the pool all to myself, whatever weather it was, because it's a calming thing. But in your mind, what happens is it's like, it's a switch of like, okay, the water's not relaxing anymore. It's work, because you have to like swim a certain amount of a distance. But then at the same time, it's like, oh wow, I can now swim that distance. Like, what happened? Oh, and another training session happened. I went to Stellenbosch swimming pool, the Métis swimming pool, which is the Stellenbosch gym swimming pool, and they said, "John, you must swim a 5K," and I was like, "Okay." And somebody let me they watch, and I didn't know that the settings were wrong or how to change them. I think I've since figured it out. So on the Garmin thing, you're supposed to put it to 25 meters or 50 meters or open water or whatever it is, and it was on the 25-meter setting, and I was like. So I was counting the lengths and everything, to try and do 5K. So eventually, I think the battery was fading, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to count the lengths now. So I can't recall whether I actually did a 5K or it was 6 or 10 or I don't know what it was. But I swam for 4 hours without stopping that day, basically 3 to 4 hours, and I didn't stop. I didn't even stop for water. I didn't even have a water bottle at the end of the pool. So you're not supposed to train that way. You're supposed to have water bottle and like Energate or whatever it is you need, like, and you sip that in between. I didn't have that. I carried lights. What I took to the pool was my towel, my goggles, my cap, my wallet, and my cell phone. That's what I put.
That's all very important when you're in the pool.
I know it is.
So tell us about the actual swim. So you got to, what happened that day? Go us through that day. How did you?
Okay, I'll walk you and stroke you through the day. Swim stroke. So I woke up late. I set my alarm for 6 and I woke up at 7. I messaged the person that was meant to lift me, and so then she.
Okay, I want to know. Sorry, I want to know, how is that even possible? If I need to be up at 6, I don't sleep the whole night because I'm so. How do you oversleep on such an important day?
I went to bed late. I got home late. I hadn't packed any of the bags. I had everything, but I didn't pack the bags.
Oh, Louise,
I was like, I need to sleep. Sleep is more important than packing the bags. So I went to sleep. I got home at 11 or 12. I was like, no, I'm just going to sleep. So I slept. I set my alarm and said, yeah, I'm going to wake up at 6. I didn't wake up at 6. My plan was to make bacon and eggs and like breakfast because that's what you need. That did not happen. My lift was on the way to me when I woke up, and I said, I'm not ready yet. Like, where are you? So, and then she arrived, and then she was in quite a bit of anxiety state. And then I said, like, I need to like eat the Future Life in the car. And she's like, no, you don't. Nobody eats in my car. So then it's like, okay, so I must tell the people that are at Oceana, like, I'm going to be late. So I had to do that. And then my friend was messaging me, are you up yet? And trying to eat breakfast, pack the bags while I have a person that's very anxious right next to me. So I'm going through my list in my head, packing the 2 bags with my snacks and everything. Most of it was almost ready. I had already sort of pre-packed before she arrived. So that was okay. It was just the last thing. In fact, by the time I finished.
Did her anxiety have any effect on you?
It did in the ride there, yes. Yes, it did. Okay. Because I usually, when I need to calm down, I usually like silence. I can't deal with it. Because I'm sensory sensitive, like with noise bombarding me. The music or something, actually, I feel it like bombarding my skin. Okay. I don't know how to do it. It's very hard.
Was she anxious because you were late, or was she just anxious in general?
She was anxious because of being late, and then like because of the swim, and I try not to feed off that. So I had to sort of try and shield myself a bit. So while trying to remember, like, this is actually the swim day. So my other friend was there at Oceana Club actually when I arrived, which was great. I didn't know she was going to be there. And then what happened was I had to sign an indemnity online, and then the photographer guy was there ready. And then, like I said, the other photography person said, no, the jet ski needs a battery change. battery shop only opens at 8:30. So basically, I'm meant to be there at 8. We were meant to be there at 8. We arrived at 8:30. We were meant to be leaving Robben Island 9. We only left it at 9:30. This is the thing. If you're late like that, it affects the currents, which they've calculated for the day. It's going to affect your swim. It's going to affect your time. It's going to affect how the weather patterns are changing. It's going to affect everything. So yeah, so then we get into the boat. The photographer's there. He hops in, all the rest. It's a small little rubber duck kind of boat, but it's got a powerful motor. I think it took us like, okay, so it's remember, this is not the 2-hour like Robben Island ferry, let's go on a tour of the prison thing. It's a rubber duck that's like, let's get to the island now, and it takes like half an hour or whatever. I think we saw a few, we saw a whole school of penguins eating.
Aww.
They were having breakfast. I was like, wow, I've never seen them like that. And then we got to the island, and then they said, okay, so this is what you need to do. Take because my costume's underneath. Take your clothes, put it in the bag, put your cap and everything, have your watch, all that. Slap the sun cream on, slap the Vaseline on.
Sorry, was your coach with you?
My clothes were on me. Yes.
Your coach, was she with you?
Oh, no. Oh, no, my coach. My coach was waiting at the shore.
Oh, okay.
So my coach was at the, she was at shore. She said she would try and be at the shore waiting for me.
All right.
Yeah. So in a moment, I just have to fetch the keys, but like literally run in and out the room again. But so then I had looked online on YouTube for that place where you get off to start the swim a few times, so I knew kind of what it looked like. I have been scared of the dark water, swimming in the kelp, getting into the water like from the boat, like that was like 3 of my fears, like just that alone, like changing on the boat, like everything. So there wasn't a lot of space. I had to do that. Then I like put everything on, and then I said, oh no, I forgot the watch, and then I couldn't find it in the bag. I forgot to put it in the like side pocket. I put that on, and then I was like, okay, that's fine. I was like, no, we have to get in. So she was already at the spot, the other swimmer, and then I was like, okay, well now, and then I had to like swim to the spot, and then you get up and hold your hand, and then they were like calling. They said, no, start now, and I was like, oh, okay. So I guess we start, but the waves were like getting me down, so I couldn't actually stand to stand. So then I was like stood up. I was like, okay, well I guess we start swimming now. So then I just started to swim, and you swim towards the boat, and I was like, okay, because you had no orientation. It was nice. It was like the Sea Table Mountain. I mean, like I said, once I got into the swim, it was like literally like I was swimming in the pool because it was that flat. And I mean, that is like a miracle. It is a miracle. Because number one, it's the middle of winter. Number two, in that stretch of water, even as you get offshore to Blouberg and everything else, Blouberg is known for the wind, and it was flat. There weren't even waves crashing on the like surfer waves. There was not even that when I got in, right? So it's like,
that's amazing, because if you know Blouberg is really windy and huge waves. It's not a quiet beach. Oh wow. Louise, so 5 hours, almost 6 hours, that's a long time to swim.
It is.
How did you manage to stay in it for so long?
So a part of the coaching was like just swim from feed to feed. Now, a feed in the swim is not what you think it is. If that word conjures up eating something, it's not that. I had a carb drink, and I had my favorite Energade, which is the tropical Energade. I bought a 6-pack of that, and I did buy other snacks and things like my Lay's plain salted and other stuff. And it was in the box that they give you and everything else. And I think they may have heard how high I trained, so they didn't want to overload me or give me anything that's that's too that's going to take away time from your swim, and it's going to take you can't chew in the water. The water's cold. You're not going to be chewing a 3-course meal while you swimming. So a feed is every half an hour, and it's about 200 mils to 220 mils of liquid, and they literally, you swim to the boat, they hand it to you, you drink it, 2 gulps, 3 gulps, you hand it back, you carry on swimming. It's like literally 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes even, however long it takes you to gulp that down, and then you keep swimming. So the first 3.3, 3 point, I think 3.5, 3 point, like the first half of the swim was great. It was amazing. Like I said, it was like swimming in the pool. It's like flat water, whatever. And then the skipper, Michelle Petrin, what she said, I remember like something changed, and she said like, okay, now you got to dig deep for the next half an hour because you're swimming against the current. So it's like you got to dig deep, and I was like, okay. Just bearing in mind, I've only done 5 sea swims, and I've never swam in a current of any kind ever in my life before. Okay, like I don't know sea current. I don't do surfing, so I don't do surfing yet. So so then I like dug deep, and I like, then there's a break, and then she says, no, but you have to keep on. Like she said, can you see, like, so after another 2 stops, I could sort of see, the mountain there, and I could see like some of the buildings in the distance. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like halfway. I'm like, almost there. Like really not almost. So, so I was swimming against the current for quite a while. I think it might have been like, about a few hours, maybe because, okay, so I took 5 hours. So I think because I was asked her like, how long have I been swimming? I didn't ask her what distance. I asked her how long. So I think for the first 3.5 hours, 4 hours, she said that I had like an hour and a half left, which you can't really say to people. So then so I swam against the current probably for an hour, I think, because I went a bit off course, because you're supposed to go between these 2 rocks.
Could you feel that you were swimming around against current?
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. Oh my word, yes. Oh my word, like that's the part of the swim where my shoulders got really sore, because I was like, oh my word, you have to like pull. So remember, the swimmers are really strong, and the reason that they're strong is because they pull in against the water pressure, and they pull in the weight of the water, like, with their arm to get through. So like I must have been swimming strong with this part of my arm, and with my hands as well, but my wrist was fine. It was my shoulders that I was swimming with, like real strong, because I was like really pulling. I felt like I was pulling like 3 times as much as I would usually swim.
Wow. Tell me, Louise, were there ever a time in the water that you wanted to give up? That you thought like, okay, this is enough, I'm going to get on the boat now?
There was one brief moment when I was swimming against the current, when I was saying like, I said to myself, this is tough. I'm like, wow, okay. And then I was like, wait, we finished everything. Let's carry on. Let's do this. And then I swam through the current, and then I felt the water change. So I got through the current, and I could see the boat in front of me, and then the skipper saying, keep swimming. And suddenly my goggles clouded up. Now I've had that in the pool, and then I'd take it off and I'd put some water in it, and then they would uncloud and I'd be fine and I'd keep swimming. So I took them off, I put the water in, I put them on again, while trying with no bottom to like steady myself, because the sea has So I did that, and I still couldn't see, and all I could see was the boat, and then through the blurry glasses I could see the guy with the yellow life jacket on, and I like literally. So it's not that I couldn't see like the water, which I couldn't see the whole way because it was cloudy. It wasn't clear water that day at all, and that water's not really clear anyway. But I couldn't actually see where I was going. So for the last, I think it was maybe for the last half an hour, or no, must have been the last hour and a half or 40 minutes. You see, you lose all sense of time. Is like I had no sense of time. I was like, I just have to get to the beach. And what they did is I heard her radio because I knew I was nearby. I think I was just behind the rocks actually. And I started to hear people cheering. So I knew I was close. Because then the skipper said, your friends are cheering, can you hear them? And I was like, yes, I can, but I still can't see. So I wanted them to know that I wasn't getting hypothermia, but I just couldn't see through my goggles. And the sun was like on my left side, it was blinding me. So I was like, I literally from that time until I hit the shore, I couldn't see the shore. And the whole thing about a Robben Island swim is like, you're going to come in, you want to see the shore. And I didn't see the shore at all. I had two, I think they were either on stand-up paddleboards or surfboards next to me. And they were on either side so that I would swim straight. One was also, it was the yellow and then the brown one. Sometimes the brown one went a bit close and I couldn't swim my stroke. And I was like, okay, so we got to finish. I don't care if I can't see. I just keep swimming until you get there. And then suddenly the guy on the right hand said to me, okay, now you can put your feet down. And I was like, oh, are we here at the beach? And then I put my feet down, and I had a bit of vertigo because being horizontal for 5 hours and 41 minutes is a long time. So your body, your balance has to reorientate to like the other way. So I was like, okay. And then I took my goggles off, and there was a cameraman, and then the friend came to greet me with the towel. So I didn't actually have time to just like take it in and go like, oh, I arrived. I think I did that for a split second before, and then I started to try and get my balance again and then walk forward to the beach. And then I saw like all the people there, and I was like, wow. Because Father God had settled it into my heart months ago. Like I'm telling you, like a year ago. And he kept reminding me, and he said, if there's no one on the beach, it's okay. And my coach came to give me a hug, and everything else. It was like that was like all there. So my coach was there. Friends who I hadn't seen in a long time were there. I didn't see everyone because some of them greeted me there and then left, and I didn't have time to say hello to them because then I went to change. And the funny story about getting to change, my one friend helped me to change, and then we got locked in the changing room. So I made the joke. It's like, yeah, you escaped from the prison to get locked in the change room.
So when did the emotions kind of hit you? When did you realize I've done this?
I think as I was walking up the beach, but then like on Tuesday afternoon.
That is what now?
Like
3 days later?
Yes, because my one friend said, like, so what I drank after the swim was like an immense amount of liquid. Like I asked my friend to bring snacks, right? A lot of snacks. And so I drank like the Super M chocolate milk. I drank the Fair Cape chocolate milk. I drank another half of an energy to finish. Then I had a whole packet of like ham because I asked her to bring some ham. So I had like some sandwich ham. And then when I went to the restaurant afterwards, I had 2 hot chocolates, a glass of water, a non-alcoholic mojito, a tonic water, another glass of water. And then like I went, and then I just had like the falafel thing, like one portion of that, and then I ordered a burger, and then I took the burger home but ate the chips, and then I had the burger at like 2 a.m. on Sunday morning, and then I had the rest of the falafel thing, like I think in the afternoon later on. So I was hungry, but not right then. Everyone else was eating, and I'm like, I need liquid. I'm like, there's my food. I mean, think of it. That's like about a liter of like chocolate drink, because it's like two chocolate milks, and the shop chocolate milk is like 300 ml, right?
Yeah.
And the hot chocolate at a restaurant is also not. It's maybe about a cup. So it's basically a liter of chocolate milk of some kind, plus like another like liter or two of water plus. So I must have drank three liters of liquid after.
So what happened? So what happened on Tuesday afternoon?
I started to or Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, I think it was Tuesday. So my birthday was Monday. I spent the whole day alone recovering. On Sunday, the day after, I couldn't even lift my shoulders up to change because my shoulders were so much in pain that I like literally spent the whole day in bed on Sunday. I didn't see anyone. I was in bed the whole day. In bed, all I did was like rest and eat, rest and eat, rest and eat, like from the bedroom to the kitchen, from the bedroom to the kitchen. And then on Monday, I was also alone. Then I had some soup with my friend in the evening. Tuesday afternoon, then I was like, oh my word, I did this. Oh, I did it. And I began to write the last chapter of my book, like now this afternoon, starting from actually when we met, because that was kind of a part of a pivotal point of it. It was, I don't know exactly what in that conversation clicked for me, but something did. That was like, I mean, I was playing around with the idea, because remember in the conversation I said, I was like, yeah, I'm playing around with maybe doing Robben Island, and you said, oh yeah, your friend just did it, like, I was like, oh, okay, that's great for him, like whatever, okay, not realizing that it's like again another sort of champion like Alvin Ace who's done it, because and he's a paraplegic that's done it, and then I know Ryan Stramroot, and his book was released like last year, and he's like the ice swimmer who's done extreme swims all over the world. And then I have my coach who's an Olympic swimmer. So I'm like, wow, I'm surrounded by greatness, and here's little me that do the swim now.
So Louise, in this journey, so in this journey, how has your relationship with God changed?
It's been a surrender and obedience journey this whole year, actually. Surrender and obedience, like every single day now, it's like reminding myself to give over stuff to Holy Spirit, to say like, okay, not my plan, and like things are not going, and yes, you are giving me the heads up on stuff. Sometimes he tells me stuff, and then I'm like, okay, but then the stuff that the stuff that he tells you, and then it does play out that way, but not the way that you thought it would play out. So I mean, it's true what he says, but it's not quite the way that you think. So it's been a deeper surrender journey of saying like, because like the weeks that I couldn't get to the pool, I was saying like, but God, you told me to do this. You gotta make a way here. Like, I can't even get to Sea Point. I can't even get to Matey's. And then the friend, said, no, we can get the Oakdale membership going. That took 6 months. I had like really from October until like March when I actually got my thing. And it shouldn't take that long. Usually it takes like a month. And it took like so long to like get the card and the code and the this and the that. So it was like pushing every step of the way. And that surrender is trust, and it's faith, and it's saying like, okay, you told me to do this, I gotta do it, whether I miss my training sessions or not, whether I have food in the house or not, whether I can get to a pool or not, I've got to do that swim on that weekend, and I'm going to do it anyway, regardless.
So tell me a little bit about the provision, because this was not a cheap hobby. just one or two things we got really supernaturally provided for you, because you speak about a trainer. Trainers don't come cheap, you know. How did God provide for that? And then also specifically on the day of the swim, I think that's about a good 3,000-4,000 rand to swim, you know. So how did God provide? How did the provision pan out during these times?
Okay, so I was at a church meeting. No, I had written a Facebook post, and then my one friend that I'd met just pre-COVID, who's been following my journey. So to put it into context, pre-COVID, like literally the month, like February, March, 2020. February, I went on a road trip with my friend for 8 days up the garden route, and then like literally 24-hour turnaround, and then I caught a plane to Joburg for a conference. And that was a week conference. And at that conference, I met the one friend. And then, of course, COVID hit the end of March. So, and of course, that time I had no clue that I was going to do Robben Island at all. So that friend, she saw one of my posts, and then she gave some finance towards it. And then I was at another meeting at a church thing, and I said, yeah, you know, like whatever. And then he asked us, my friend of mine, he asked, and he said, okay, but just give me your bank details, I'll make a deposit now. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, okay, well, there's no time like the present. So then literally like 5 minutes later, the money was in my account, and I was like, wow, okay. And then I booked the swim, so they gave me a discount. So the money that I did get in was 3,000. They gave me a discount of 3,500. They don't give the discount to everybody, so I just, you know, I was.
Thank you, Lord.
You know. Yeah. And then you also, yes, the coach. So I had a special arrangement with my coach. So that was taken care of. Also, must be taken into account that in December last year, my car broke down, and I was getting to the pool not by my own transport, but by Ubers and whatever as well, or in-driver. So that was like 50 Rand every time to get there and back. And a few times I walked to the pool or walked back from it when it's in Oakdale. So that's a 6-kilometer walk. So, you know, and then I would catch a taxi out to Métis, because I like that pool. It's a really nice pool. I'd get in, swim, and feel like I was crazy sometimes. But it's, you know, so yeah, the provision came up to meet me. And I mean, after the swim, and I talked about my other Facing Fears goals, one or two friends said, yeah, they might help, or they want to do it with me. So somebody's going to help me pay for the skydiving. Some people want to go with me to ice skate. Some people want to go with me to do horse riding. So it's become what I think what the Robben Island did is it felt like it opened a door for other people to dream again. And to say like, well, you know, if this lady that isn't even looking like she's an athlete, because I don't look like an athlete, let's be honest. I will get to look like an athlete over the next 2 years, but I don't look like one right now. And yes, I have lost weight because of it, but I haven't lost enough. So let's name that little elephant in the room. I'm overweight. I shouldn't be able to do a swim like that. I did a swim like that. You're crying, my friend. Why are you crying? Because I think now you know 2 people who've done it.
Because I'm so damn proud of you. I'm so damn proud of you. I'm so damn proud of you. So just one last question. You spoke about the COVID trauma right in the beginning. You know, the COVID was kind of what was pushing you to do something. Do you feel like this has changed that? Do you feel that that trauma has been redeemed through this? Do you feel like that what was kind of kickstarting it is now healthy?
It's not entirely over yet, but it's really a big part of it is on the way, because now I've been able to regain some of the habits I lost. I'm able to wash the dishes again. I'm able to do my laundry again. I'm able to have energy to tidy my place. I'm able to like start to get the routines going again, able to want to desire my place to actually look decent and good. Um, so it's the beginning of it. There were other things that played a part in it as well, um, like like deliverance and other stuff that I also went through that just helped that. But it was, yeah, because like this is the irony, right? I swim in 12-degree water. You're not allowed to swim the swim unless the water is above 14. It has to be 14 and above. And most people, like, I mean, Cape Town included, just generally on the planet, who are not cold water swimmers. I have to qualify that if you're not a cold water swimmer. 14 degrees is like your cold water shower, but like a bit less. So most people are like, they're like a cat in the shower. Like, no, sorry. So I did do the cold water training, but I think I did it in an unusual way. So I had a combination of cold water. I had a combination of the actual normal temperature that I swam in for quite a few swims at Oakdale, 12 degrees. And I mean, you'll see on my Facebook, there's a photo of the guy with one of the COVID things measuring the surface temperature. A week after that photo was taken, I went to the club manager and he said, oh yeah, by the way, we measured the internal temperature of the water today and it was also 12 degrees. And then the waiters come up to me and they say, so are you going to swim? And they like look at me with the eyebrows raised, look at the water and like, and I'm like, yeah. And then they see me get in. And actually, so on the swim, that 14-degree water was actually, it was warm for me. It was fine. The temperature of the water, I think there was only one time when my feet got a little bit cold. Just one time during the swim. And then it just kind of faded away and I just kept swimming and I didn't get cold again. Wow. I just got cold when I got out into ambient temperature and then I had a cold shower because you're not supposed to have a hot shower after cold water. You're supposed to go cold water, shower cold water, lukewarm water, then warm water so your body doesn't get a shock. And I didn't have hypothermia. My eyes were sweating. That's normal for a long swim, having goggles on. That's a normal thing if you've seen the photos. It was just like, wow. And I'm like, and my coach was crying when she hugged me. And I'm like, why are you crying? And she's like, wow, you did it. I didn't, because a lot of people were like a bit worried, I hadn't done enough training. I hadn't still gonna do it. And I'm like, yeah, well, they let me do it. And I did it. So
I know that this will probably, there's things in my life that happened, that is kind of those red-lettered things in your life that you'll always look back to and say, that changed my life, that thing. And I think this is one of those things that you'll always refer back to and say, that changed my life, that one thing. But if you can, just one lesson, because I know that there's a lot. There's so much that you've learned in the past year and a half. But if you can say there's one thing that you have learned about yourself, what is that?
I think that I thought I had lost my resilience and my tenacity over COVID because it was so traumatic. And it's almost like I got it back, but it's not like I thought I lost it. So it's more like a thing of like, oh, I've always had it and now I have it even more. Does that make sense?
It does. It is incredible. And I think that's the two things that I kind of picked up from this whole conversation. The one thing is the intention, because I speak to the people in this group always about intention. If you set an intention, and once we set intention, the whole universe works with us to make that intention flow out. And that's exactly what happened for you. Above and beyond, you will never be the same again. And then just your incredible tenacity, to walk 6 kilometers, to go to a pool, to go train, that's next level tenacity. That's next level resilience. That's next level, I'm going to do this. And that is, yeah, I think, and if I have to be honest, I never, that day when I met you on the way to the wedding, I never would have thought that you would do this. And you did. And I think that is why I'm crying, because well done, Louise, well done. It is incredible.
Oh, thank you so much.
But
That's why I said, now you know two people who did it.
I do. The other guy, for you guys who don't know, Alwyn Ace is a paraplegic. He did it as well, and we did a documentary on him doing it. He has the same kind of story, yet different. But he did it as well. Yeah, the end of 2020, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's hear if there's questions. Anybody who wants to say something, to questions? Anybody?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I wrote something on the chat.
I saw that. Please share with us.
Yes. In grade 5, I took part in a swimming gala, and I remember almost drowning and being rescued. And then from then, I've had this phobia with water. But there are times where I have wanted to overcome that, and then I'll participate in in swimming lessons. I am comfortable in the shallow end. I cannot say I can, it's like I'm having to start again, like somebody who's never swam before. And my problem now is, it's expensive to get a coach. And so I've joined the gym, and I attend water aerobics just for me to be, comfortable in the water and overcome that phobia. So I wanted to find out, like, what advice you would give to a person like me. There's a lot going on in my life. I'm writing a book. I hope I'll be able to finish it this year and get everything ready this year. I'm moving to America at the end of July. There's a lot happening, but swimming is one thing that I feel if I overcome this thing, I mean, it will be one of the, best achievements, something that I'm looking forward to. It's one of those things that I see myself, I envision myself having overcome it. But sometimes you face challenges. I am willing to intentionally put that in a budget and say, even if it's expensive to get a coach, I need to do this, whether it's one lesson a week. At least I'll have done that, So I just thought I should share and maybe ask what advice you'd give to me.
What's your name, first of all?
My name is Shingai, but you can call me Shingi.
Okay, so Shingi, I'm also writing a book, so I know that takes time out of your schedule, and moving, as Mark Marie will know, is also time out of your schedule to pack and shed some stuff and ship some stuff and all that kind of thing. So that is an energy draining things in some respects, not in all. Of course, writing the book can be emotional as well as not emotional. It depends. But so what I would say is, so my first swim where I really overcame that fear was when I did the Clifton swim. I think that was the day that I overcome it, of that dark water, because I had to do it. So the thing is, it's to keep on going to the gym, keep on going to the water. And if you when you go and swim, if you go and invest in swimming lessons, a lot of the coaches help you to overcome that fear. And then what it is you put yourself, like there's a lot of swimming groups, and I know there's a lot in America as well. There's a lot of swimming groups, like in South Africa, Cape Town, you'll have the open water swimming groups, and they help you from 0 to hero. Like they have people at all levels that swim in the sea, and all of that assist you, that champion you, that so there'll always be someone around. So find those groups when you go to America, whatever state it's in. They usually have, I know they have swimming pools in most towns in America as well, if they don't have a lake or some other water something. I've obviously, which state are you going to?
I'm going to Virginia.
Okay, so you're going to have to look for some lakes and some pools. So then look for the swimming clubs there. Look for those kind of people, and then in your mindset, right? It's your mindset. Like for my mindset, just to get to the 50-meter pool, I coached myself the whole of December, saying like, okay, you're going to do the 50-meter pool now. In January, you're going to do it. See, notice that I didn't use the language of like, I think I'm going to do it, or maybe, or it's a good idea. It's like, I'm going to do the 50-meter pool. I'm going to do the 50-meter pool in January. I'm going to do the Robben Island swim. So you're going to say like, I enjoy swimming. So it's you have to speak the life over your body and work through that trauma as well, through inner healing and deliverance, as well as putting yourself in the situation to give your body memory a different memory of water. So you're going to say like, I love swimming. I love the water. I enjoy it. So you have to put the joy back in too, to overcome, to supersede and cancel out that pain while dealing with that pain of going back to the memory with Jesus and saying, okay, Jesus, where were you when I almost drowned? And ask him, and he'll tell you, and you'll deal with the pain. You need to feel the feelings of the pain of the trauma, but then you need to like, that's getting to 0, is feeling the pain. You have to acknowledge the pain. You have to acknowledge the trauma, and you have to feel it because your body traps emotions. And then you get to the 0, and then you say, you know what? I speak life over my swimming, over my body, and it's saying like, even when you don't believe it yet, every time you go to the water aerobics, you say like, I enjoy this class, I enjoy the water, and I love it, and I love this community, and and your body and your mind is going to slowly start to transform with that, and you're going to feel the shift. But it's as with everything, and it's accumulative. So it's every day when a thought comes up like, oh, I'm scared to go in the water again. It's like, no, wait, I'm not scared. I'm going to do this. I love the water. The water's calming. The water's soothing. The water's therapeutic. All the good stuff that God created water to be.
And it is, the water is, for me, I know deep in my heart that when I start swimming, all my weight issues will be gone. I know when I swam from grade 1, I swam, I was part of the school team. And that's my best exercise. I love water, but when I get into the pool, I think all that comes back, and I have this fear of what if it happens again. And I think that's why I've been more comfortable in the shallow end. But I need to now let go and be a risk taker.
Yeah, no. That's what it is. Like I had to do all 3. I had to like many times, what people don't know, many times in this journey, I with some of my sensory issues, like I had lost energy, and even though I wanted to get to the pool, even though I had money to get to the pool, I had no energy to go in my mind all the tasks that I had to do to get to the pool, because I think through everything about 50 times more than that before I have to go, because I'm like, okay, is my costume clean? Is my towel dry? Do I have the money to get there? Is the app running? Is my phone charged? Do I have the time in my schedule? Do I have to be somewhere after? Do I have the hour, 2 hours to do it right now? Is it getting dark? Is it summer or winter? Like all of that before I even just like call the taxi to get there. And then when I'm there, then I'm like, okay, is that table clear where I change? You know, do I have people looking at me or not? It's like self-conscious. Have I gone to the bathroom? Like all that stuff. And then it's like, okay, now that I've changed and everything, now it's like getting into the pool. Then it's like, okay, the pool is like, what's the temperature? In the Oakdale pool, I didn't know the temperature. At Seapool pool, I did, because Seapool pool has the temperature up. Also the Métis pool, they don't put the temperature up. So, and it's slightly heated, but yeah, so it's coaching on mind, body, soul, because your soul is the trauma. Your body needs to have a different memory of water, and your mind has to actually be told that actually the water is fine and it's safe and it's not going to do anything to you. I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you. And inspiration. Thank you so much.
Amazing to think on how we need to rewrite the memory of our bodies, because that's actually what the trauma is. The trauma is a memory that's stuck there, and how we need to rewrite the memory of that trauma with new and good memories. Wow. Any other questions or comments? Morning Flower.
Yeah, hi. Yeah. Louis, I was just wondering, when you were going through the whole 5 hours, 40-minute swim, what was in your mind as you were going through? What was preoccupying your mind? What kept you going? Were you having a conversation with the Lord whenever you'd find yourself, I don't know. I'm sure there were moments where you felt like stopping. I know you'd lost track of time. Where was your mind at to keep you going, you know, every minute?
So it changed because my swim was in like 3 sections. That's a very good question. Thanks. So the first 3.3, 3.5, when the water was like glass, the water was actually like glass the whole way, even through the current section. It was just like the current was pushing me with the flat water, so you couldn't see. I was like, ah. So in the first bit, I was mainly thinking, it's like, okay, just remember, like, get from feet to feet, like, wow, the water's like glass, the beautiful view. It's like, oh, this is so cool. Like, wow, I'm actually in this. I'm actually doing this. This is happening now. It's actually happening. It's like, I'm in the water. This is Robben. I'm doing the Robben Island. So I'm like, I'm really doing this. I'm in the water doing it. I'm here. And then also when I lost my rhythm and my stroke, then I just went back to the 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you see online, the one underwater shot, when he took that shot, I was swimming strong when he took that one. I was like pulling, I was like enjoying the swim. It was like, yay, I see that thing. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I was feeling like the whole weight of so many years of things was falling off in some way as well. I think I felt it subsequent, after the swim, the weight of a lot of things that have been holding me back for like a long time, like 20 years or something. And even the stuff from COVID and all that, it's like, well, no, if I can do this, I can do that. And then when I was swimming against the current, the only thing I think I was thinking then was like, geez, this current is really strong. And then I was like, oh, I can't see So I was like, well, got to just get to the beach right now. So let's just keep swimming. And then the one guy was a bit close, so I kept on knocking the surfboard or the stand-up paddleboard. I think it was a surfboard. So I was like, please just give me a bit of space, because my arm kept knocking it. And then I was like, okay, yeah, you just got to keep going. I was like, I'm almost there. You can't give up now. Like, don't be crazy. Like, you're not cold. It's just the current. You can't see. So what? You've got people beside you. Like, yeah, you just keep going until you get there. And I could hear my friends cheering, and I was like, oh, okay. So it's like, well, then we just got to keep going. I mean, I literally swam to the sandy part of it without even seeing the buildings. And I mean, the whole thing about a Robben Island swim is like, oh, I swam towards the shore, and I was like, I didn't get to see that. So, yeah, it was various different things. Obviously, you can't really talk to people while you swim because you're swimming. So, and also the skipper, she would check for hypothermia. So she would ask me how I am and what I'm doing. And the reason she asked the question, so that she can check if you're talking coherently. Because if you have hypothermia or hypothermia, you are disorientated. So yeah, and I didn't really get disorientated.
Because you were used 12 degrees and not 14, so you were just trooping through the cold water. All right, one more question, and then I think we're going to wrap it up. Leah, go ahead.
Tell me, Louise, what inspired you to go to swim? Where did it start? Have you been as a child? Did you like the water? Did you like to swim? Because I know sometimes when you are very young, there's something in you, and that is your passion.
Yeah, I learned swimming from when I was 5 or 6 years old, and then we moved to a house that had a swimming pool. And many afternoons and hours from when I was like 6 until like 13, I would spend hours playing in the water in the pool on my own. So I taught myself how to do a forward somersault in the water, not from the edge into the water, but actually in the water, and how to do a backward one. And I think that's when I was like, I think when I was growing up, that's like on my bicycle, I would talk to God, and in the swimming pool, I would just play and have fun, and I would do my 20 lengths, and then I would be tired of that, and then I would just, I was in the water I was literally in the water. So it's the old day, like 20, 30 years ago, when chlorine, no saltwater pools, and my eyes would get that, if you swam in chlorine for too long, you would get a cloudy sort of thing by your eyes, and your granny fingers would come, and you would be just totally pulled out, basically. And then my mom would call for supper, and then I'd dry myself on the lawn and run around and then go in. And I would so the neighbors would come over and swim and everything. But there were many times that I would just go and swim on my own in the pool in the afternoon and just do whatever I wanted for 2 or 3 hours until my eyes were blurry and my fingers were crinkly. Yeah.
So what's next for Louise? Skydiving.
What's next? There are various different things being sort of played out there.
Okay.
So the overcoming the fear of heights is four or five things, because I will need to do progressively, because that one is like really, really like bad. So I would want to do the canopy tours either in Nice or Robben, which is the treetop tours where you do a foofy slide, which is basically the zip line. So the zip line there, which is 2 stories up. So, and then after that would be like it's that paragliding or whatever it is off Lion's Head. And then the skydiving, and then Suicide Gorge is a combination of the height and dark water fear, because I may have conquered the dark water of the sea, but I haven't conquered the dark water of the inland dark water. and that's different water. It's not the same. And I also want to see if I could do the Two Oceans Marathon in memory of my dad. And I don't think my Robben Island journey is done yet.
Yeah, I think you're going to do that a few times still. Now swimming against your own time.
Yeah, you still have to book, eh? You can't just do a Robben Island swim. Every Robben Island swim you have to book and pay for. So, yeah.
Well, my
But
friend,
God had told me something about it. So, yeah, there might be another few. I'm not telling you how many, but a few.
Well, my friend, you are always, like I said to you the other day, you always challenge me. And you were like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you challenge me to be better. And I want to honor you for that. Because you do. I'm proud of you. And I look forward to all your adventures. I'm standing on the sideline and I'm cheering you for each and every one of them. And thank you for sharing this with us today. I think, yeah, these ladies have been blessed. And yeah, we look forward to see you jump out of a plane soon.
Not quite yet, but soon. And I just want to honor you for having me on and like giving me the platform to tell more of the story, because that's why I'm writing my book, right? I'm writing my testimony. My book is my testimony, and I hope to get that published in June next year, or like basically in let's just say in book form by June. And it's like, yes, June again, yes, because it's my birthday month. Yes, yes. Don't have to guess too much for that. So,
well,
yeah.
That's good. Anyway, have a blessed evening, all of you. I'm going to sleep as well. So I will see you guys again at some point. Love you all.
Thanks, everyone, for coming.
Thanks, everyone.